Welcome to a new fragrance review. Today we're going to talk about what fragrance to bring on a vacation. So, what fragrance to bring on a vacation? I'm not gonna say any top fragrance to bring because it's really a matter of personal taste. What I would say is just a couple tips. The first one I would say is have either travel atomizer that you will put some fragrance you like in it, or have some dedicated fragrance for traveling. You want at best to avoid having glass bottle. It can always break, especially if you are bringing those bottle on plane. There's always chances that it breaks. So you might want to avoid that. Typically, travel atomizer from fragrance brand are in some kind of packaging or bottle that's more shock resistant. Also, having a smaller bottle will help transport it because it's going to be less space. And typically, your trip is not so long, so you don't need like to have huge bottles anyway. So having smaller bottles is always a good thing. Let's say the best would be to have maybe two fragrance when you're in a vacation, unless you're in a business trip, which would be different. You might need a more like business oriented fragrance, maybe one business fragrance, more classic, more sharp. But typically, when you go on a vacation for fun, what you're going to do is either some kind of activity where you're going to visit something or some kind of activity where you're just going to relax and enjoy life. I know I'm really broad with the idea, but you're going to go visit museum, visit the nature, a zoo, something, I don't know, or you're going to go to a restaurant, maybe a bar or stuff like that. Those pretty much the two big activities you're going to go do, or maybe go on the beach. Not like you're going to do a lot of various activities if you're traveling. So basically, you would need one fragrance for each type of activities. If you're going to go on museum and stuff like that and visit stuff, you might want a nice fresh, mass appealing fragrance, something that won't be too crazy because just the occasion would be good for that. You might want to just bring your favorite fragrance because you don't mind, you're just gonna go visit stuff anyway. So can have something you really enjoy. And for those more laid back leisure time, depends where you're gonna go, but you want one fragrance for that. If your goal is go to the beach, the whole a nice aquatic or fresh fragrance could be a good idea. If you're more for the nightlife, well, a clubbing fragrance could be a good idea. But in the end, you just need two big fragrance, one to like visit soft day fragrance and one night fragrance. Typically, it's not the way I would classify fragrance, but for that specific type of event, that's really what you need. And typically, your dating fragrance in your collection, if you have like the five idea that I say, your dating fragrance would be a good evening fragrance, and whatever summer or winter fragrance would be a good day fragrance for that event or your everyday fragrance. Another thing I would say is don't bring expensive fragrance when you travel. First of all, there's a risk that the bottle breaks. You don't have your nice little shelf where you put it, where it's in safety. It's in the luggage that's going to be thrown away. You're going to put it on the side of some random table where you can hit it and it falls and breaks. Also, if you're on a trip, like in other countries, some countries are less safe and there's chance that someone see an expensive fragrance and just steals it. There's a lot of risk for your fragrance to disappear in a way or another, for you to lose the fragrance in a way or another when you're traveling. So you're better off getting, if it's a little decan, you can take whatever you want. But if you bring a whole bottle, it's always better to bring something that's more cheap, that if you don't have it anymore, you won't mind too much. Also, another thing that you might want to do if you're traveling is to not bring any fragrance at all. If you're watching this video, there's a good chance that you're a big fragrance enthusiast. So if you're traveling, it's a good time to buy a fragrance. You go and whatever country, you beforehand you can look what type of fragrance do they have, if there's some special fragrance from that country, if there's anything interesting, you can go to the store and buy a fragrance over there, and that fragrance will bring you memory. You bring that wear that fragrance the whole time you're there, and that fragrance will be linked to the memories or of where you are. And that could be a really great way to integrate fragrance and a trip. So that's it for today. Hope you enjoyed the video. If it's the case, like and share. If you have anything you think I missed in the video on what fragrance to bring and a trip, just put it in the comment. So thanks for watching and see you soon.